Good evening, everyone, to the Fitchburg Common Council meeting for April 23rd, 2024. The first thing is to call to the order to the meeting. The second is please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
One nation.
Thank you. So next, we are moving to item 4, swearing of the new elected council member, Nicole Bafadari, for District 4, seat number 8. Okay, yeah. Are you taking the flag? No?
Okay. And have you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name,
I, Nicole Vafadari,
who have been elected to the office of alderperson
who have been elected to the office of alderperson
in the city of Fitchburg, Dane County, Wisconsin,
in the city of Fitchburg, Dane County, Wisconsin,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof, swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next we move to item 5. Roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Alder Allen.
Present.
Mayor Radafrada.
Here.
Alder Dantzler.
Here.
Alder Gerhardt.
Here.
Alder Herbst.
Here.
Alder Jetzer.
Here.
Alder Maldonado.
Here.
Alder Vafarati.
Here.
Alder Wheeler.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we move to public appearances for non-agenda items. Do we have any? No. So then we move to the mayoral proclamation. We have 2 proclamations tonight. We are going to start with the first one. Is recognizing April 26, 2024 as the official Fitchburg Arbor Day celebration. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day called Arbor Day be set aside for the planting of trees, and
the holiday called Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and
whereas each year on the last Friday in April, people throughout Wisconsin and across the country celebrate Arbor Day by recognizing the wonderful treasure that trees represent and by dedicating themselves to planting trees and maintaining urban and rural forests, and
whereas the city of Fitchburg has planted and maintains over 14,000 trees, continues to plant hundreds of trees every year in order to reach a 30% tree canopy in the urban service area, and works to protect existing trees whenever possible. And
Nicole?
yeah, go ahead. December.
Whereas in December of 1998, Fitchburg City Council acknowledged the importance of trees by resolving to develop a community tree management program with a goal of achieving Tree City USA status. And whereas trees can reduce stormwater runoff, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, calm traffic, are a source of beauty and spiritual renewal, and provide habitat for wildlife. And
Whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, beautify our community, and
Jay?
Is that me? Whereas Fitchburg has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation for 26 consecutive years, has earned 11 growth awards, and desires to continue its tree planting ways, and
Whereas planting trees by Fitchburg citizens represents a commitment toward community, environment, urban forestry, and aesthetic beauty.
Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the City of Fitchburg that April 26, 2024 is officially known as a Fitchburg Arbor Day celebration. Now, therefore, be it further proclaimed by the City of Fitchburg that all citizens are urged to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands and support our city urban forestry program. That all citizens are urged to plant trees to promote the well-being of present and future generations, so that the future generation can continue to enjoy a green and healthy community, and to look back upon the foresight and dedication of their predecessors with pride and with gratitude, and to join with others across our state and nation in celebrating the nobility of tree. So this is proclaimed today, April 23rd of 2024. So, okay, so now we are going to call, if we are going to take a picture with the people for the tree committee. Linda?
I also just wanted to mention that since we did this proclamation, we've also been recognized as a Tree City of the World, which is a designation in addition to the Tree City USA. And this year we did also receive another growth award.
So I want to say thank you very much because we have a great tree committee advisory that I was able to participate for a year, and also Gabriela, and we are very proud of. You're a very passionate group of people, so Nicole is going to join you now into the team. So I want to say thank you very much for all what you do for the tree. So, Sue, too, on Parks, too. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you for all your support.
Okay, we have another proclamation. So, recognizing May 2024 as a National Bike Month, May 17, 2024 as a National Bike to Work Day, and June 1st to the 9th, 2024 as a Wisconsin Bike Week. Whereas the bicycle is an economical, healthy, and convenient and environmentally sound form of transportation, and an excellent tool for recreation and enjoyment of Fitchburg's scenic beauty, and
whereas Fitchburg was recognized by the League of American Bicyclists as a silver bike-friendly community in 2015, 2019, and 2023, and a bronze bicycle-friendly community in 2012, and
whereas in 1956, the League of American Bicyclists established May as National Bike Month and designated May 17, 2024 as National Bike to Work Day, and the Wisconsin Bike Fed has declared June 1st through 9th as Wisconsin Bike Week in 2024, and
whereas Fitchburg's comfortable, low-stress system of trails, paths, and on-road bicycle facilities, including the unique Velo Underround, the confluence of 5 state and regional trails, and its new B-Cycle bike share system attracts bicyclists from a multi-state region, each year providing economic health, transportation, tourism, and scenic benefits, and
whereas creating a bicycle-friendly community improves residents' health, well-being, and quality of life, grows the economy of Fitchburg, attracting tourists, improves safety traffic safety, supports student learning outcomes, and reduces pollution, congestion, and wear and tear on our streets and roads. And
whereas Bike Fitchburg, the Fitchburg Chamber Visitors Bureau, and the Wisconsin Bike Fed, the Bike League, and many other organizations will be promoting bicycling during May and June 1st through 9th, 2024, and year-round to attract more visitors to enjoy local restaurants, hotels, retailers, and cultural and scenic attractions. And
whereas these groups are also promoting greater public awareness of bicycle operation and providing safety education to reduce crashes, injuries, and fatalities, and improve health and safety of everyone on the road.
Whereas the theme of Wisconsin Bike Week in 2024 is Bikes Mean Business, and Fitchburg has more bicycle-friendly businesses than any other Wisconsin community.
Now, therefore, I, Julia Ratafrata, Mayor of the City of Fitchburg, do hereby proclaim May as a Bike Month, May 17 as a Bike to Work Day, and June 1st to 9 as a Wisconsin Bike Week in 2024 in the City of Fitchburg, and urge all residents to begin or continue to bike, continue a bike riding habit and support bicycling in Fitchburg and throughout our region for all its economic, safety, transportation, and health benefits. It's proclaimed today, April 23rd, 2024. So we are going to take a picture and invite people from the bike community.
Everybody in.
So who is going to
Say
speak?
something, if you don't mind. So,
3 minutes.
it won't be that long. So thank you, Council. I couldn't have said it better. The proclamation, speaking on behalf of the members of the Bicycle Committee and the Board of Bike Fitchburg, and also the Wisconsin Bike Fed and the League of American Cyclists, we really appreciate the way that the city has embraced bicycling as part of Fitchburg's identity, and the way the council has supported that, and the Chamber of Commerce. So thank you very much. Speaking of Bike to Work Day, we will have details later, but you will have the opportunity to bike to work with the mayor on Friday morning, the 17th of May. And so watch for announcements of that event. And this Saturday is Celebrate Trails Day, and we will be celebrating down at the Velo Underround, the bicycle roundabout, and giving away drinks and favors of snacks and so on, and bike maps. So we hope that you will come by and see the volunteers down there making Fitchburg welcoming for bicycling. And thank you, Mayor.
Oh, thank you, Steve, and thank you to all of you, Mark and Andy, and the rest of you, because of you continue investing in and educating us of why bicycling is a healthy habit for all of us. So thank you very much. Okay, Mark, do you want to say something? No.
No. I would just echo what Steve and the mayor said. Thank you very much for supporting biking, and we will continue to try and raise the bar in Fitchburg. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Before we move on,
Yeah.
could I make a brief comment on the Tree City USA proclamation? I was on the council back in 1998 when we received that award for the first time, and it was really pushed through by a member of the council, Karen Madison, who I don't know if you remember her, Steve, but she represented what was District 4 with me back at the time. And Karen had a lot of environmental issues she was working on, including the Tree Cities USA. She sponsored a budget amendment that passed to cut the salt usage in the city by half. And so she's not with us any longer, but I just want to recognize the work that she did to help make that happen, and that we have become a much better city because of it.
Thank you. So next we are moving to agenda item 6B, is the mayoral reappointment and appointment. So I will start first with all the mayoral reappointments. I'm going to name all of them, and then the council will vote, okay? Before we move to that, I want to say to all of the people that we are going to reappoint tonight, and the new appointment, that I will say thank you very much for serving the city in this role. This is another way for residents, they can be a voice in city government. And your time is very valuable. And if you are willing to share with us, I really appreciate that. I started my tenure in the city as a member of a committee in 2014. And I took it very seriously, and I enjoy it. And then I decided later to run for Alder. The other thing I want to mention is that if you cannot, we offer the opportunity for you to participate via Zoom and in person. And also if you cannot attend one of the meetings because, we have a life and things happen, please inform the chair of the committee and the staff that represent that committee. Because it's important for you to participate. So I want to say, again, thank you very much, okay, we are going to go first with the reappointment, and then for the new appointments, what we are going to do is I'm going to call you individually to the microphone so you can introduce yourself and tell the council why you want to do this, okay? If any one of the reappointments want to speak up, please let me know. Sarah, do you want to do that or no? Okay. Okay, so I am going to move forward with the mayor reappointments. So Mark Jones for Ag and Rural Affairs. This is a reappointment, and the term expired on April 2027. George Bruman, also for Ag and Rural Affairs, and his term will expire on April 2027. Andy Potts for the Bicycle and Pedestrian Commission. His term will expire on April 27. Dave Wilborn for the Board of Public Works. His term will expire on April 27. Sheriff O'Toole for the Board of Review. His term will expire on April 27. Andrew Slager for the Board of Review. Also, his term will expire on April 27. Elton Cream for the Board of Review. His term will expire on April 27. Donna Stewart for the Commission on Aging Well. Also, her term will expire on April 2027. Andy Potts from CEDA, his term will expire on April 18, 2028. Ari Lowe for the Healthy Neighborhood Advisory Committee, her term will expire on April 2027. Godwin Amigashi for Housing Committee, his term will expire in 27. Brian McKee for Housing, his term will expire in April 27. Mike Couliard from Landmark Preservation, his term will expire on April 27. Eric Ortiz from Landmarks Preservation, his term will expire on April 27. John Serunian for the Library Board, his term will expire on April 27. Sarah Shodre for the Park Commission, her term will expire in April 27. Heidi Reynolds for Park Commission, her term will expire in 27. Josh Nacker for Plan Commission, his term will expire on April 27. Carol Poole, Plan Commission, her term expires in April 27. Jim Tinjum from Resource Conservation. His term will expire on April 27. Kim Warkentin for Resource Conservation. Her term will expire on April 27. Elizabeth Ward for Transportation and Transit. Her term will expire on April 27. And Linda Brewer, Tree Advisory. Her term expires on 27. Sue Fiber, Tree Advisory. Her term expires on 27. Craig Rapp for Tree Advisory. His term expires on April 27. And Julia Potter for Zoning Board of Appeal. Her term will expire on April 27. So I introduced that to the council, so I need a motion.
I'll move approval of reappointments.
Second.
Any question, comment? No? All those in favor of the reappointment say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay, thank you very much. So next we move to the new appointments. So I will call to the microphone Jim Denham for the Bicycle and Pedestrian Commission. This is a new appointment and his term will expire in April 27.
Good evening. My name is Jim Denham, and my wife Caroline and I have lived in the city of Fitchburg for approximately 6 years. And I have been asked by our mayor to represent the pedestrian aspect of the bicycle committee. Throughout my life, I have lived in 7 different cities around the country and have been totally blind since birth. So I've got a lot of experience being a pedestrian and know what makes cities more pedestrian friendly. And I really want to work with the bicycle committee as a member to help increase, the bicycle friendliness and also the pedestrian friendliness of our great city of Fitchburg. So I'm looking forward to serving.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor of appointing Jim Denham for the Bicycle and Pedestrian Commission say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So next, I will call Dave Carson for the Board of Review. This is the first alternate, and his term will expire in April 2025. It's a short term due to vacancy. Okay, Dave.
Good evening. Dave Carlson, resident of Fitchburg for about 8 years. 5 years ago, served a short term on the Plan Commission.
I'll move approval.
Second motion.
All those in favor of appointing Dave Carson for the Board of Review say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Dave. Next, I will call Mark Fairchild for the Board of Review for the third alternate. This is a new appointment too. His term will expire in 2025 due to a short term due vacancy.
Well, thank you for having me, and for those of you who have not had the opportunity to meet on the council, it's nice to be here. Special thanks to the mayor for the nomination, and again for all of your time. My name is Mark Fairchild. I've been a resident of Fitchburg for about 11 years. I did have a short stint with CETA to finish out a term. For my day job, I work in multifamily and have a significant amount of budgeting and financing experience, which I feel would be a great professional skill to be able to lend to the Fitchburg Board of Review. Would welcome any questions about my experience, and I would also like to reiterate from my application that I would like to offer my services on a pro bono basis.
Okay, thank you. Any question for Mark? No? Okay.
Second.
All those in favor of approving Mark Fairchild for the Board of Review, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you all.
Then I will call Bones Ashby for the Commission on Aging Well. Her term will expire in April 2027.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. As mentioned, my name is Vontae Ashby, and I am a 14-year resident of the city of Fitchburg. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. After 10 years of teaching in Chicago Public Schools, I decided to move to Madison, Wisconsin, and I have never looked back. I retired after 32 years in various types of educational roles. I have worked in urban, suburban, and rural school districts, along with school districts throughout the state of Wisconsin. I have taught grades 3 through 12, served as an assistant principal, a director of student services. When I left the schools, I authored policies for the Department of Public Instruction, and I worked with the Wisconsin Historical Society by developing educational programs for their state historic sites. More recently, I have served on the board of directors for GSAFE, NAACP, and Wingler School. My motivation for serving on the Commission for Aging Well lies in its name. The city of Fitchburg doesn't want to simply help the elderly. The city wants to support our senior residents by providing programs to assist them in aging well and safe. I would like to assist in developing policies that would allow us to continue down this path and actively reach out to engage more people of color to take advantage of these programs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move approval.
All those in favor of appointing Bones Ashby to the Commission of Aging Well, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
So next, I don't know, Sheriff O'Toole is here? No? I am appointing him to the Healthy Neighborhood Advisory.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Okay, he's not here, but all those in favor of approving Sheriff O'Toole, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Next, I'm going to call Dan. Okay. I'm going to try to pronounce your last name.
Would you like help, Mayor?
Huh?
Would you like help, Mayor? I can pronounce it.
No, I know. Shonwira Won, isn't it? She told me that I had to say it like it's in Spanish.
Just an amendment, Kim. On the agenda, her first and last name are
Yeah, I know.
backwards.
Yeah.
So if we could fix it.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Hi, Dr. Dang Shonvirawong. I've been in Fitchburg, oh my goodness, about half of the city had been alive. And just down the road, basically my kids grew up in Fitchburg Library, since there was the bus that came to our neighborhood. We love the bus. It's just so wonderful. I'm an educator, and my current position is a senior consultant for the Arredondo Advisory Group. I do work on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm also a volunteer at the Dane County Rape Crisis Center. Besides that, I am also an artist currently. Retired from both University of Wisconsin-Madison and the Cal State system, California University, State University, and I work in California for 7 years. And my goal to serve on the library committee is basically I might dedicate my career to educational opportunity and access, and I want to see that reading, among other things, that the libraries offer, including community building opportunity and access to technologies available to different various community in Fitchburg, not just by my neighborhood where we can walk here and bike here. And I also want to make sure that my kids do not have outstanding books hidden in their room now that they are in college. So thank you very much, and I look forward to working with everybody on the committee.
Thank you.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor of approving Dan Shonwira Won to the Library Commission, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So thank you very much. So next, I want to appoint Sam DiMaggio for the Park Commission. His term will expire in 26 because it's a short term due to a vacancy. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Sam DiMaggio. I've been a resident of Fitchburg for 27 years. Relatively recently retired. In my retirement time, I've spent probably over 1,000 hours or so working on Fitchburg parks and trying to beautify them. I've spent a ton of time if you walk through Chicory Meadow Park lately, you'll notice a significant change in the park. I started that and got yesterday was Earth Day. We had probably 10 volunteers over at Chicory putting in plants and shrubberies and so on. And so I think that same sort of activity could take place in a lot of our parks. We could really improve them significantly by just channeling the people that live there to go work in these parks. And so I'm hoping as part of the Park Commission, I could sort of take some of that energy, some of the things that I've learned over the last 5 years doing this to make all the parks better, not just Chicory Meadow or Dolly Conservancy or Dunn's Marsh, which are a number of the places I've actually worked. So I'm hoping that I can, be a positive force at the Park Commission, and I appreciate that I've been appointed.
Thank you.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor of approving Sam DiMaggio for the Park Commission, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So thank you. So next, I am calling Angela Banks for the Police and Fire Commission. Her term will expire in April 2029.
Good evening. I am Angela Banks. I've lived in Fitchburg for 5 years. My education and background and training is a BS in Business Administration and MBA, and I'm also a certified fraud examiner. I'm confident that I possess the qualifications and skills that are necessary to contribute significantly to the Police and Fire Commission. I'm currently a program assistant for the Department of Civil Rights, working directly with Equal Opportunity Division, where I review housing, employment, public accommodation complaints for individuals who work or live in the city of Madison. Prior to those roles, I was a division administrator for the Department of Safety and Professional Services, for their Division of Management Services, and also Department of Administration for their Division of Gaming. The reason why I really wanted to participate is I'm interested and willing to serve the residents of Fitchburg through this appointment because I love living in Fitchburg. And I want to ensure it continues to be a great place to live. I understand the nature of the Police and Fire Commission and its primary responsibility. I have over 25 years of internal audit experience where I've reviewed policies and procedures for effectiveness and efficiency. And being an independent body, I was always a member of the peer and management group to ensure operational decisions were in compliance and qualifications or protocol were addressed and or maintained as prescribed. I will bring this experience to the Police and Fire Commission, and I have reviewed the duties prescribed in Wisconsin Statute 62.13, and I believe I'll be a great asset to the Commission.
Thank you, Angela.
Move approval.
Second.
All those
Before we vote, I just have one question.
Yes.
Because we've got two appointees to the Police and Fire Commission tonight, and the 6213
Yes.
says that we cannot have more than two people of the same political party on that commission. That's the only commission that has a restriction like that. So I just want to verify that that's been checked, and we don't.
Yes, Valerie, our city
It's more
attorney,
than
has
three.
been consulted.
Excellent.
Okay, all those in favor of appointing Angela Banks, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you very much.
So next, I call Veronica Ibarra for the Police and Fire Commission. Her term will expire on April 2028.
Evening. My name is Veronica Ibarra. I am a resident of Fitchburg, I would say almost for 3 years. I am a wife and a mother. I have 4 small children in Fitchburg. I was asked about this committee, and I looked into it, and it's been a while that I had been thinking that I wanted to be part of this community, the community of the city of Fitchburg. And once I took a look at it, I realized that this is the safety and the well-being of Fitchburg, and I wanted to be part of it. So I asked to allow me to serve and be part of this committee.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor of approving Veronica Ibarra of the Police and Fire Commission, say aye.
Aye.
All, any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Veronica. Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay, so now thank you very much to all of you for approving my appointment. So I appreciate that. So next we move to the consent agenda.
I'll move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of the
I
consent.
got, could we pull out item C1?
C1.
And maybe also C3.
And C3, okay. Okay, so all of them in favor of the consent agenda without C1 and C3, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So, okay, what do you want? Did you remove C1?
So this is being referred to TTC and the Bicycle Committee. I think it should also go to the Board of Public Works, since that's the member who's being removed from TTC's membership.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor of C1 to be referred to the Public Works Commission, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So, what about 3?
Between the City of Fitchburg and Sustain Dane and the Efficiency Navigator Program. There's been significant discussion of that within the Housing Advisory Committee, but they're not on the referral sheet.
Yes, there is a reason. What was the reason?
The information that was shared at department head was that this was the first phase of the contract and that the Sustain Dane through the Efficiency Navigator program will be spending the summer months identifying projects with which they would suggest funding be authorized. And at that point in time, the thought process was those specific projects would be coming back to Housing Advisory and other committees for consideration at that point, is what was brought up at department head today.
This is only the agreement. You know?
Okay.
That's it. We are not discussing anything else. That one is going to come later.
All right.
Okay. So we approve it without sending to the housing.
Yeah,
Okay.
move to refer as is.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor to refer the resolution as it is, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay. So next we move to the administrative report.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 2 new alders for your first official council meeting. By all means, I will be getting an email out to you with some information, and if I can be of any assistance, don't hesitate to reach out, and feel free to schedule a meeting, too, if you want to discuss anything in person as well. Some events and other items for the council this evening. There is a few Arbor Day events coming up, the first of which is this Friday at 10:30 a.m. here in front of City Hall near the flagpole. Mayor Arata Frada will be joined by some children from Woods Hollow to plant a tree. You are all obviously encouraged to attend. Also this Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Rose Commons Park at 5640 Longford Terrace. There will be a tree planting event in honor of Arbor Day. A couple items related to the library. As I've mentioned previously, the library chiller replacement project has been taking place the last couple of weeks. Overall, the project has gone well with the exception of a minor setback yesterday. However, we are anticipating that the chiller will be started up on Thursday, and the library will have heating and cooling once again. Thankfully, the weather has been cooperative the last 2 weeks. The library will also be closed next Wednesday, May 1st, for staff in service. You are all, as all members of the public are, invited to a Dane County Regional Housing Strategy informational session on Thursday, May 2nd from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Alliant Energy Center. Dane County has been working with a number of municipalities, including the city of Fitchburg, to assess the housing situation as it exists and also make recommendations on how to address the housing situation in Dane County. The next item I have for you is the hub project on Traceway Drive is anticipated to go out for bid this week. We'll anticipate that we'll be accepting bids for approximately 30 days and that we will be having a contract presented to the Common Council in either late May or early June for consideration. The annual road resurfacing project is kicking off a bit earlier this year than it has in the last several years. That contract was approved by the Common Council recently, and Payne and Dolan will be beginning their work beginning the week of May 6th. They intend to start in the rural roads of Fitchburg first, and then they will transition over the remaining portion of the project as they complete each section. Public Works has prepared communication that will be mailed out to all affected property owners, and I will be forwarding that information to the Common Council so that you have it in the event you receive any contacts from constituents. One other item that I forgot to mention from an event standpoint is happening tomorrow morning here at City Hall. I mentioned this in my last administrator's report as well, but that is a discussion with Dane County Executive Joe Parisi regarding federal funds for local development. And again, that'll be tomorrow morning from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. here at the City Hall. And then the last item I have this evening is please watch for an Outlook appointment for Misty Dodge, our Finance Director, regarding a special Finance Committee meeting and on the Mayor's proposed capital improvement plan. That was noted in the approved timeline and schedule adopted by Council previously. That special Finance Committee meeting will be June 24th at 6 p.m. That's all I have. Any questions?
Any questions? No? Okay, thank you, Chad. So next we move to item 9, this commission and committee reports. We will start with Plan Commission.
I'll move approval of Ordinance 2024-009, zoning ordinance amendment for granting general implementation plan zoning for rezone request RZ 2540-24 by Robert Zandowski, agent for Bowman Farms, Inc. and Harvest Bible Chapel Madison, Inc. to rezone properties from BD, general business, to PDD GIP, Planned Development District General Implementation Plan, to allow for a mixed-use, multifamily, and commercial development on property associated with 2932 Fish Hatchery Road with an amendment to condition number 3B2 to read as follows. Maximum stories and building height, 3 stories or 55 feet, whichever is less. And this is to allow the church architectural features such as a steeple.
Second.
Did the Plan Commission approve?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we have 2 people that they want to speak. One is Michael Thorson. He wishes to speak in support. I don't know. You want to come? Or Dave and Jacobson. He's here to answer questions. I don't know if you want to speak, guys. Huh? Oh. You? Oh, yeah, you can say, yeah.
Yeah, I can just give you a summary quick while they're getting settled. So this is a Bowman Plaza development and the City on the Hill Church off of Fish Hatchery Road. It's right next to Post Road, and it's going to be a PDD, Planned Development District, because it's a special project. There's 2 parcels. One is going to be where that current business development is. It's going to be replaced with a 7-story building, 5 residential floors, 2 parking floors, and a commercial space. It's very similar to the standard project in Madison, if you're familiar with that. And then also there will be a redevelopment of the City on the Hill property, which is currently that church, that same church. It'll be 270 housing units. There will be some shared parking between the properties, which they have worked out. There'll be bike parking. It will end up being what is to date the tallest building in Fitchburg when it's complete. And there's a couple other cleanup items that will happen as we go along, but the Plan Commission approved.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you also registered Ned Hoyt. Okay.
Right. We'll just give some brief comments. The city asked us when we were first looking at the Bowman Plaza site to reach out to the church and understand what their future plans were and be sure that what we was doing and their future plans worked both for ourselves and for the city. I'll give you a brief overview in a few minutes of what we were proposing with the project, but I thought it was important for you to hear directly from Pastor Dave Jacobson about the church and its mission and its interaction with the Fitchburg community, because that's driving a lot of their future presence on the site.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Dave Jacobson. I'm the pastor there at City on a Hill, and we purchased that property just over 5 years ago. And when we moved in, it was our desire to become a part of the neighborhood and the community, and it's been a great home for us. We've been able to just partner in a number of ways. We are one of the community partners with Leopold Elementary School. We host a lot of neighborhood block parties, trunk or treat, a Christmas toy shop, other events, and I serve as one of the chaplains with the peer support with the police, fire, and EMS here in Fitchburg. And so when we were approached by Ned and the team there, we were excited about the opportunity to see development happen around us. And also, I think it was a good partnership because currently we use some of the parking that's there at Bowman Plaza. And so when something gets developed there, we have to figure out a new plan for our parking. And so, sometimes that parking sits vacant. So we really love the opportunity that kind of the shared parking is the primary arrangement, as well as some access. But it allows for just a good usage between it and allows us to continue to stay there and expand. And we've seen a lot of growth since coming to the city. So we're excited to be part of the fabric and continue to invest in the community here.
With this project, we've developed some properties that were sold by Andy Bowman and Bowman Farms. And when he sold his Stop and Go business that used to be at the Bowman Plaza site, it started a cycle of there being less traffic and less businesses there. So anybody who drives by it now can see that it's not the commercial operation that it used to be. So it became an opportunity for redevelopment. The city was happy for that and encouraged the conversation. The site is quite constrained by a number of variables. It's got a shared access easement on the south with the Kelly's Market site. There was a former road reservation to the north. And then there's a question of coordinating access and parking with the church. We've worked with them. We've worked with Kelly's Markets. We've worked with city staff over several years to try and figure out a plan that sort of works for everybody. And we think that this is it. It is a larger site. We think it will be developed in a way that is prominent and really shows off the entrance to Fitchburg for people coming down on Fish Hatchery. It will be the 270 units that Gabriela sort of described, and we think it will make a great addition to the housing stock of quality units, given the housing shortage in the broader sort of community. It will continue to maintain about 9,000 to 10,000 square feet of commercial space right along the frontage of Fish Hatchery Road, which should give it good prominence, and it maintains the kind of urban feel that the city has set out to have for its fish hatchery visioning for North Fish Hatchery. So we're pleased to be presenting another project to the city along the lines of those that Mike and I have brought to the table. So thank you for your support.
Okay, thank you. Mike, do you want to speak or no?
Just a couple of comments. I would say, look, we've been doing this now for about 5 years in the North Fish Hatchery Road corridor. We saw the city's vision for that corridor, and as developers, we both live in Fitchburg, and we thought the opportunity to kind of partner with the city to take that forward is we are one of the few developers doing that right now, and I think we've had a great partnership with the city, and we thank you for that. This will be our fourth project in that, with more to come.
Thank you. Okay, I am open for questions. Okay,
I got a few. The first one is, one of the businesses that is still open in Bowman Plaza is the laundromat. And that's an important piece of infrastructure for many of the residents who currently live in the apartments, behind there. Have you had any discussions with the laundromat owner about possibly locating something like that in the new building?
We have not. It's my understanding that he sold the business and sold the equipment and has gone on to another line of work.
Okay. All right. You have a dog park listed on here as part of the building. Is that an area that would be open to the public or just for the residents of the building?
Just for the residents of the building.
All right. Then for you, I see next door there's that your long-term plan is, it looks like it's to demolish the house that's there and probably do away with the underground tunnel completely. And
Yes.
Do you know what your time frame is on that possible expansion?
Yeah, we have broken into a couple phases. So the phase one with potential for the offices, we want to do that as soon as possible. That would probably take place in the next couple years. It's an old building. It was built in '64. There's not accessibility, and the bathroom situation's not fantastic. So we would like to address that as soon as possible. And then I would say the long-term plan, it's hard to predict. I would say probably within the next 10 years. I wouldn't anticipate that within the next 4 or 5. I mean, we'd love to do it as soon as we can. It's we tried to, just plan long-term and then break it into phases, so it kind of made sense, and as the people and finances are available to be able to do that.
Would your long-term involve removing the existing church building as well?
No, I think we'd love to keep it if we can. It's got, a little bit of historical significance, and it's got some cool architecture inside. And so, and as our team has met and tried to plan long-term, financially, it actually makes more sense to just keep it and try and build around it. And so we've got some plans to kind of incorporate that into all of the future structure, and even kind of, I think kind of build off of that sort of structure that's there.
And then Ned, it looks like the entrance to your underground parking is kind of coming around the back side of the building, right?
We actually have 2 entrances. Working with city staff, we were encouraged to split the 2 parking levels rather than have them have an interior ramp. So one parking will go to the north and connect to the Ochala lights there, and the other will go to the south to connect to the Post Road lights. And that way we split the traffic from the residents between the 2 lights rather than having them all go one way or another, which should be a better traffic result. And so there's the northwest corner goes up into the Ochala, and there's one on the south side that will go down to Post Road.
Okay, I see that now that you pointed out. So are you going to be acquiring land from the church to build the parking lot, or are you just doing a lease, or how's that working out?
It's intended to have a easement for the shared parking for part of it, and for us to construct the parking and the drive access around to Ochala Drive to make the facility work.
Gotcha. That's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Any other comment? Okay, Gabriela and then Dave.
Just a quick comment, because we talked about the businesses as well, and Mike Zimmerman, our Economic Development Director, has been working with the current businesses to try to relocate them in other parts of Fitchburg, and I know that one of the businesses, I think, has already found a site, so we're going to try to keep them in Fitchburg if it's feasible for them.
Dave.
I'm ignorant. Do we have a limit on the height? Anyone that follows next door sees the stuff going on in Madison. Do we have anything? I'm not on planning, so
No.
excuse the ignorance of my question.
The sky is the limit. No. No, we don't.
Well, actually, our zoning ordinance has a maximum height limit of 45 feet. But because this is in PDD zoning, all rules are off, and you just kind of craft the rules as you go.
Thank you, Jay.
Dave, from a practical construction perspective, you can't get much above 85 feet with a wood structure.
Okay.
If at some point we propose in Venture Tower,
On City on a Hill, looks like almost the entirety of it is that's currently open field is going to be turned into impervious surface. I'm just wondering how the stormwater management is happening there.
we've looked at putting in underground stormwater treatment for both the church site and the Bowman Plaza site. in discussions with city staff, it was important to them that we maintain the ability to eventually have the possibility of a road connection behind the western piece of the building. So that wasn't available for stormwater. And then to have the drive go all the way up the west and north side of the building limited the ability to have kind of retained space. The only thing that was left was right along kind of Fish Hatchery Road, and we were kind of discouraged from that in the sense that it would not be consistent with the North Fish Hatchery visioning. So we've proposed underground stormwater on both properties to solve for that.
Any other question, comment?
Oh, there is one other
Okay.
question that I had. The church buildings that are shown on this diagram, they're pretty far from Fish Hatchery Road, and our general move on Fish Hatchery Road has been to have buildings closer to the street. Why are you so far away?
Well, part of it is to incorporate the current church. We push that for. We were aware of the city's desire for that, so we actually push that building as close as possible. And this again is just sort of our first pass at it. We'd love to get as close to the road as possible. One of our ideas in that, it's not necessarily seen in the renderings, but is to create sort of a social space out in that front and sort of a patio area that could be used by the community or other events, after services or for other public events. So we'd love to kind of have that interact with that front patio, and think it actually could be a cool space right there off the road. But yeah, we'd love to get that as close as possible.
Well, I love that idea.
I'd love to see a food truck or a coffee cart or something, there eventually. But yeah, that's just my idea. I'm talking now.
Bill.
Yeah, one more, just because it's Bike Month and Bike Week and Bike Day and Bike everything. I see there's comparatively little bike parking. One car space per 300 square feet of commercial and one bike space per 8,000 square feet. And I presume that's based on current demand. I just want to, point out that a given car parking space is enough to hold probably between 6 and 12 bikes, depending on whether they're standard bikes or cargo bikes. And I presume you're perfectly willing to convert parking spaces from car to bike as demand shifts over time.
There are a couple of extra spots on both the church site and the Bowman Plaza site where additional bike parking could be added, sort of if needed, that actually wouldn't take any car parking spots away. So if there is a demand for additional bike parking, I think it can be accommodated without any substantive changes.
Any other questions, comments? No? So, okay, I will say thank you. It's great to work with you guys, and I am in support of this, project, and it's glad that you continue to invest in our city. So, okay, so all those in favor of ordinance 2024-0-09 say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next one, Gabriela.
I move approval of 2024-010, request by Craig Frank, agent for Hartung Brothers, Inc., to rezone properties from PDD GIP, Plan Development District General Implementation Plan, to PDD SIP, Plan Development District Specific Implementation Plan, to allow for a townhome development in Hartung Fields neighborhood on property associated with 2622 Blaney Road.
Second.
Okay, did Plan Commission approve?
Yes.
What is this, Gabriela?
So this is part of that big Hartung Fields development. There is a row of townhomes. It'll be 50 townhomes total that they want to begin developing. And so kind of details about the townhomes. There's rear access driveways on all lots to hide the garages. There are 2 and 3 bedrooms with 2.5 baths and 2-car garages. The 3 bedrooms, they're various sizes based. They're not all the same floor plan. Some of them are quite bigger than others, but they're either 2 or 3 bedrooms. Prairie style, high quality materials. They don't use vinyl or anything. Extensive landscaping plan, so it will be quite beautiful from the street. The plan is for these to be rentals because they find that there's a demand for rental townhomes, but they are designing it such that it can become a condo at a later date. And they have requested an early start to start building while the infrastructure is under development, which was granted at Plan Commission. They are already underway on some of the apartment buildings that we've seen before. And for a point of reference, they've done a lot of townhome developments like this in other areas around Dane County that have been quite successful. The DeForest ones in DeForest are currently renting at $1,800 to $2,700 monthly. And then they are looking to start footing and foundations in May, and possible with the possibility that they'll be available to rent as soon as January next year.
Okay. Diana, do you want to add anything else?
Good evening, everyone. No, I think everything. I'm here for answer any questions.
Thank you. Bill.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I was reading through some of the materials, and there's little information on the shingles. I'm wondering, are these things, how much hail can they handle? Because we've had, in the past 20 years, several hailstorms that have caused a lot of rooftops to be replaced early in their life cycle.
I do not have an answer on exactly what types of materials. I would assume that the buildings will be adequately insured to address any future hailstorms.
Any other question? Comments? No? Okay. All those in favor of Ordinance 2024-0-10, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Next one.
I move approval of R8324, request by Jonathan Lilly, agent for 2876 Index LLC, to create one buildable lot out of one existing lot for a multifamily residential development on property associated with 2876 Index Road.
Second.
Did Plan Commission approve?
Yes.
What is this?
So this is something that we had to delay many times, but basically it's kind of a cleanup opportunity. It was a condition by Plan Department on the approval of the property that the development already exists, but they needed to look into the easements and kind of update the CSM. So this is just fixing that and getting that checked off before the occupancy can move forward.
Okay, we have a register, Ned Hoyt, who wishes to speak in support. Do you want to add anything else to this one? No? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, any question, comment?
This is the weirdest shaped lot I've ever seen.
Okay, all those in favor of resolution R-83-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Next one.
I move approval of Resolution R8424, request by Mark Jones, agent for Jones Family Sayin Farm Trust, and Andrew J. Lowry to subdivide 4 existing parcels into 2 lots and 1 outlot on property associated with 2244 South Sayin Road.
Second.
Did the Plan Commission approve?
Yes.
Did Ag and Rural Affairs Committee approve?
Yes, I believe
Yes,
it did.
okay.
Yeah. Oh.
What is that one?
There was an amendment at Plan, it looks like.
Yeah, Deanna, can you remind me if there was an amendment on this one?
Oh, it was
There is a small amendment to condition number 2.
Thank you. Yes, so I will move. I will correct my motion to clarify that I moved it as amended by Plan Commission.
Okay.
Do you want me to read it out?
I can do that. It's in the referral sheet. The revision to condition number 2 was amended to read, prior to the city signing the CSM, which is certified survey map, must comply with the dimensional standards of the low-density residential zoning district.
And so for background on this was actually, the same thing was approved back in January of 2022, but it's coming back because it's been too long since the approval, and they're ready to move forward with it again. It's basically the reconsolidation of a lot, a farm lot, to build a house for Mark Jones' daughter. There was some concerns about the rear setback that the staff is still working with them on, and we had some conversation about the need to tap into the water system that now exists along the road. since it's within 200 feet of the city water main. But that's all part of the conditions, and this was approved unanimously at plan.
Okay, thank you. Any question, comments? Okay, so all those in favor of resolution R-84-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Next one.
I move approval of Resolution R-8524, request by Stefan Cornels, agent for Zimbrick Inc. and TMJ IILLP to consolidate 8 parcels into one new parcel for the car dealership on property associated with 2300 Rimrock Road.
Second.
Did the Plan Commission approve?
Yes.
What is this?
So this is essentially a cleanup opportunity. This was part of the former town of Madison, and now obviously City of Fitchburg. It's 8 parcels, but we wanted to consolidate into one parcel and check out that the easements and the stormwater facilities were actually owned by the property, and just kind of get all that fixed. So all that has been sorted, and this is just checking that box.
Okay. Any question, comment?
I just wanted to say, as a former Board of Review member, I really appreciate moves like this because it makes it a lot easier to understand kind of the general kind of ownership and management. So I super appreciate that this is being done.
Bill.
Yeah, I'm interested in the history of this because if you look at the map, it's clearly a car dealership with surrounding parking, and yet it is 8 oddly shaped lots.
Yeah. Part of the town.
Well, the history is it wasn't always a car dealership.
Yeah.
So Zimbrick went and bought these various lots and then built on it under the county zoning ordinances at the time.
There's a ton of like multiple parcels that are put together where you think it should be one.
One of these lots has vampire fangs.
Okay. Any other question, comment? No? All those in favor of resolution R-85-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. So next we move to the Board of Public Works. Dave.
Senator, we consider amending the agenda to get Greg and Chad out of here.
So moved.
So what are you planning to do?
Second.
I'll look at this and.
Which 2 items would we be bringing up?
10A1.
What do you
Yeah,
do what?
Finance Committee, Resolution R-7124.
Oh, okay.
Yes, 10A1. We'll
Okay.
start with that. So you're moving to move 10A1.
That's
and,
correct.
Alder Allen seconded.
Okay. All those in favor of moving 12A1?
10A1.
10A1.
10?
Yeah, we'll get to 12A1.
Yep, and we'll
Okay.
do 12 next.
Oh, 10. Okay. What is 10? Oh, the fire. Okay, I'm sorry. 10A1 to where? Before Public Works?
Yes.
Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carry. Okay, so next is Chief. Okay.
I'll move approval of Resolution R-7124, awarding the Fire Department engine purchase contract to Reliant Fire Apparatus, Inc.
Second.
Did the Finance Committee approve?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. What is this?
So this is the purchase of a new fire engine. It is going to be, the proposal is to pay up front, even though we won't receive the engine for 50 to 55 months. Then that's not a mistake, that's accurate numbers. And that'll save us about 16% of the cost, and it will lock us into the current rates. So if there's any inflation over those months, it won't go up. The total cost is going to be about $900,000. And that this contract does come with it's a company that's well known, and they have warranties on all the products, and it will come basically ready to go, painted, and ready to work.
Chief, do you want to add anything else?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, very well summarized. You do have the option, and we have done that in the past where we've done 100% prepay and saved on the project. And like I said, it locks us into what that contract price is at the 100% prepay, which is, let me get down to the number here, just shy of the 900,000, where I think originally it's 1.4, if I remember right. Yeah, if you have any other questions, there was questions about warranties. There are a number of warranties that cover paint, structural body, Especially when it comes to structure, it's essentially a 50-year lifetime warranty, which they consider the life of the apparatus. So there's a number of different warranties for the vehicle.
Dave.
But yeah, at one time this was probably before your predecessor's predecessor, we would we try to buy 2 engines at a time so that we would get better price on 2 and when did that change, I guess?
So the last 2 that were purchased would have been 2017 and then put in the service in 2018. Those are the ones that we currently have as our front line apparatus right now out of Firehouse 2 and Firehouse 3.
Jay, do you have a question?
Yeah, is this one going to come in white like is shown in the picture?
No,
Okay, good.
it will be the white over our Kelly green.
That was actually my question too.
That was just the brochure that we had to share.
Any other comment, question? No? Okay. All those in favor of resolution R-71-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much.
I'll move to amend the agenda to move item 12A1 to before Public Works.
Second.
All those in favor of, what is it?
Amending the agenda.
Amending the agenda to move 12A1 before Public Works, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So, who is that? This is a
I will
finance. Yeah.
move approval of Resolution R-7924, providing for the sale of approximately $9,030,000 of general obligation promissory notes, Series 2024A.
Second.
Did Finance Committee approve?
Yes.
Okay, what is this?
So this is our debt issuance for the current year, specifically for part of the money will go towards the police services facility, and the rest will go towards the fire engine.
Okay.
And I think Greg has a presentation. He can talk more detail.
Okay, Greg, thank you. We have Greg from LS Consulting, so.
Good evening. I'm going to briefly summarize the pre-sale report that was included in your packet that provides an overview of this financing. As was just stated, there are 2 primary purposes of what's included in this note issue. First is initial financing for the police facility improvements, and second is for the fire equipment that you just discussed. Alternatively, if there are proceeds left over for those 2 primary purposes, these can also be used for road improvements. All of the debt service for these notes will be repaid by the city's property tax levy for debt service. In terms of the financial analysis and exhibits that we included in the pre-sale report, we typically like to look at debt issuance in a multi-year context. So the only projects that you're authorizing this evening are the borrowing for the 2024 projects. We've included a summary in Table 1 of the city's capital improvement plan projects from 2025 through 2032. It's worth noting that the CIP will be updated and will present an updated analysis on the new mayor's CIP upcoming in June. This is based off of the CIP that was prepared last year for future years. So for illustration purposes, we've included financings in our model from 2025 through 2032, but you're only authorizing the 2024 projects. The total amount that you're borrowing is $9,030,000 in its debt service fund for 2024. The city budgeted some funds that could be used to downsize this borrowing. That's approximately $1.1 million. So once we factor in the transactional expenses, the final par amount is the $9,030,000. We show in Table 3 the proposed amortization and estimated principal and interest payments for these notes. The police station portion is amortized over 20 years. The fire equipment is amortized over 10. We've structured the debt service payments around your existing debt obligations and also taking into account future debt issuance in the future. Your existing debt service levy is scheduled to drop from 2024 to 2025, so we've built in a larger principal payment in 2025 to kind of keep that levy increase stable for debt service to avoid large fluctuations in your levy for debt service. These are estimated interest payments. We've built in some cushion based on where market rates are now. This debt will be sold at the end of May. At that time, that is when we'll lock in the final interest costs for the notes. In terms of the overall fiscal impact in Table 4, on the far left-hand side, we have your existing levy for debt. That's based off of your existing debt profile. And then we show the estimated principal and interest payments for capital improvement financings from 2024 through 2032. Again, the financings from 25 through 32 are for illustration purposes only. And then we show some of the expected non-levy revenue sources that could cover some of those future debt issuance payments. So we've structured, the debt for the full capital improvement plan out through 2032. So the total levy increase just for debt service on an annual basis is estimated to be $225,000 approximately per year. So a consistent budgetary impact to your debt service levy. We update this every time the city produces its multi-year capital improvement plan. You see the same analysis anytime the city borrows funds, but this kind of gives you the impact of the full CIP from 2024 all the way out through 2032, structured for that level impact. And then finally, we look at the city's general obligation debt limit. The amount of principal the city can have outstanding cannot exceed 5% of the city's total equalized value. Again, forecasting out future financings through 2032, the city is projected only to be at about 28% of its debt limit, which is well under your legal limit. You have a very healthy remaining capacity available. So in terms of the overall debt issuance process and kind of where we're at today, in terms of the schedule, we're at the beginning of the debt issuance process this evening, which is the resolution that's on your agenda. If you decide to proceed, we'll go through the formal debt issuance process. The city gets rated by Moody's Investor Services. Moody's is actually coming to the city this year, so we'll have a tour as part of their typical conference discussion on the city's financials and economic condition. And then, as I mentioned previously, the sale will occur on May 28th, the regularly scheduled meeting date of the Common Council. Will present the final sale results for award that evening, and then the closing and receipt of funds by the city will occur on June 13th. So that's the overview of the financing plan. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Jay.
So you've got about $9 million in here for the police facility, which the council hasn't even approved. And I mean, I'm not sure where we're headed with that, because it's been radio silence since February, so most of the council doesn't even know what's going on with this, have any idea where we're headed. What happens if we borrow this money to build the police facility, but then it gets pushed off another year or another 2 years, or who knows?
Legally, you can use general obligation promissory notes for any public purpose. So you would be able to repurpose these dollars for any other project in your capital improvement plan, as long as it met the tax definition of a public improvement.
Can I make a clarification? I think that I mentioned to you guys that we are working with the architect and engineers, and they are downsizing the design, and the design is going to come to you in May. So we are working to bring forward the police station with the new revised design. Do you want to add anything?
No, I think you've covered it appropriately. There's been a number of, obviously, reductions and flat-out cuts from the project as it was originally presented. We're anticipating that the architectural design firm will have those from a programmatic basis fully identified yet this week or early next week. That information will be shared with Pepper Construction, who's the construction management firm the city has hired to help with the cost estimating associated with this project, to prepare another cost estimate. And at that time, once we have that information, we will look to bring that back to the council for consideration of the programmatic design and ideally approval to move forward with schematic and full design after that.
Dave.
If you know, but I suspect you do, who is typically buying these municipal bonds? Is it a investment firms? I'm just curious.
Yes, typically it's underwriting firms. We always put the city's bonds out for bid, so we receive bids from underwriting firms and municipal bond underwriters, and it's very common for the city to receive bids from underwriters throughout the U.S. due to your strong credit rating. The city's rated AA1 by Moody's, which is one notch below AAA. So we typically see very broad interest in the city's bonds, and so that's part of what we'll present if you move forward on the 28th is kind of the bid tab, which shows all the underwriters which submit their bid. The bids get awarded based on the lowest true interest cost. So it's very analogous to bidding a public works project where you're awarding a bid to the lowest cost proposal.
Thank you.
Any other comment, question? No? Okay, so all those in favor of resolution R-79-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So thank you. See you tomorrow.
Hasta mañana.
He's coming back tomorrow, so. Okay, where we are? Okay, Public Works, okay.
So I'll move postponement of resolution R-11-24 approving contract with Cintas until the May 14th council meeting.
Second.
All those in favor of postponing resolution R-11-24? For which one? Oh, sorry. We need a roll call for the last one, for the resolution R-79-24. Sorry, yeah. So we need a roll call for that one. It's protocol.
Thank you, Mayor. Alder Allen?
You bet.
Alder Dantzler?
Yes.
Alder Gerhart?
Aye.
Alder Herbst?
Aye.
Alder Jutser?
Aye.
Alder Maldonado?
Aye.
Alder Badari?
Aye.
Alder Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Okay, so. We are all those in favor of postponing.
Well, before we postpone it again,
Yeah.
why are we postponing it again, Dave?
I'll let Chad. It's
Yeah,
contract.
so
It's contract.
it's taken a while to get the updated contract terms back from Cintas, and that we just received today, and the city attorney was in circuit court today and did not have a chance to review the said contract to confirm it was updated appropriately. So we anticipate that she'll have an opportunity to review that in time for the May 14th. So yeah, we share your frustration, to be honest with you, in getting this thing wrapped up.
Did she have a nice time in circuit court?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have a chance to check in with her today.
So all those in favor of postponing resolution R-11-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So next one.
Move approval, resolution R-5924, approving change order number 1 for purchase of 1.5 and 2-inch water meters.
Second.
Did the Board of Public Works approve?
Public Works approved.
Did Finance Committee approve?
Finance approved.
Oh, thank you. Okay, what is this?
We are accelerating the replacement of these meters. There might be can't remember if there was a little bit of an issue with lead, but mostly because we have a master plumber on staff that we want to take advantage of him to do this work while we have him. He's a temporary, limited time employee, and we'd like to keep him busy, get this done. We have excess money from the larger meter budget, and possibly some other account, Bill, do you recall? Tim is on, yeah. That we were asking where was this money coming from, and I know it was the larger meter, and there was something else that's eluding me. Maybe Tim can clue us in.
Yeah, it's coming from the large meter replacement fund, which is account number 602-5744-805.
Okay. There is a memo. Gabriela.
Oh, and I just wanted to note, too, that this does also include the additional hours for the master plumber, or for the limited time master plumber. So that's part of the resolution as well.
You're correct, yes. Thank you.
It's not noted in the resolution title, but it's a piece of it.
Okay.
Thank you, Gabrielle.
Any questions? Comments? Okay, all those in favor of resolution R-59-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Next one.
Move approval resolution R-6324, authorizing the purchase of 2 rectangular rapid flashing beacons.
Second.
Public Works approved.
Did the bicycle committee approve? Bicycle? The TTC?
TTC approved.
Finance?
Finance approved.
Okay. What is this?
These are button and motion activated flashing lights to go on the Cannonball Trail at Cannonball Trail crossing Seminole Highway, and these have a motion activator. I'm not necessarily in favor of that, but that will automatically turn the beacons on when someone approaches the intersection.
Okay.
The other one is going over by the school on
Oregon. Yeah.
Forest Edge School. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that Forest Edge School is the other one.
Joe.
Yeah, just context, this is, there has been several residents advocating for the crossing on Seminole Highway, so thank you for doing that.
Okay. So, Gabriela?
And just one note to the school district, I believe, is paying for half of the one for the Forest Edge. So I think the total cost for that is around $9.3 thousand. And the Cannonball one, with that additional capability, I think totals $22,000.
Yeah. Okay. Jay?
So are these going to be on a post? And how do they, or is it going to be suspended above the roadway? And how does it actually do the sensing? Because it would seem to me you would need more than 2 lights.
Okay.
Unless it's like right in the center of the roadway.
Tim, can you explain?
Yes, so that there'll be posts on each side of the road, and that the posts will have a solar panel on top of it. It'll have the appropriate signage and then also a control panel. The thermo sensor will be on the post pointed back towards the path, and that it'll kind of you'll set a zone on where you want to pick up the pedestrians or the bicycles in. So, and we can tweak that zone so to make it, longer or shorter, depending on how we want to get pedestrians and bicyclists across.
Well, I guess the question I was really asking is how many of the resolution says we're buying 2 of these.
I think a better way of saying it is 2 sets. Yeah, 2 sets. Yeah.
2 sets.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 sets.
That makes more sense to me.
Okay.
So if it's a thermal sensor, how does that respond to something like a badger or a beaver or a deer?
Comes on. Comes on.
Those animals aren't large enough for the thermal sensor, so the thermal sensor has a size limitation on it.
A deer is as big as someone on a bike.
Deer would turn it on.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have deer there?
We have deer everywhere.
That's to avoid a car deer crash.
I've seen a deer cross the Cap City Trail right by Dunn's Marsh. So yes,
Might prevent a car deer accident.
We do put signs up for the ducks and turtles that cross there. So.
Yeah, I never saw the turtle.
Yeah, but we don't put flashing lights up for the ducks and turtles.
Okay, this is a good thing, okay? We need it, so. Any other question? Okay, all those in favor of resolution R-63-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So next one.
Move approval resolution R-7324, approving an agreement with R.A. Smith for construction-related services for 4th edition to Terra Vesa.
Second.
Public Works approved.
Did Finance Committee approve?
Finance approved.
What is this?
So we don't have the engineering department doesn't have the bandwidth to provide the construction inspection on this project, so we are contracting out with R.A. Smith. We are getting the same person that did the construction inspection on the Lacey Road project. Tim thought it was done very well and are very comfortable with that person. So that's what this is. That's what this agreement is for.
So, and this one is covered in the budget, isn't it?
This is pass-through cost.
This is
Pass-through.
pass-through cost,
Pass-through.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. I like that. Cool. Okay. Any question, comments? All those in favor of resolution R-73-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. There's some more. Okay. Okay.
I'll move approval resolution R-74-24, approving change order number 1 for 2024 through 2026 Hillside Heights Vegetation Management.
Second.
Board of Public Works approved.
Did Finance Committee approve?
Finance approved.
Okay, thank you. What is this?
So we'll be seeing a number of these. They're all with the same company to manage active, mostly prairie restoration that we have in these various areas, and it's a three-year contract. We had a previous 3-year, and these continue to need continual attention. Hopefully not forever, but that's what this change order is for that management.
Okay. Any question, comment?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Do we get a discount with extended term agreements?
Nicole, I do not know. That'd probably be a question for Tim. I suspect it is better pricing for 3 years, but I don't have any guarantee. I can tell you that. Maybe for the 3 projects.
This one we do not have a discount for, but with them having done the ponds for the last 3 or 4 years, they have a good working knowledge and are more efficient, so that their pricing does take that into consideration.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other question? No? Okay. All those in favor of resolution R-74-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Next one.
Move approval of resolution R-75-24, approving change order number 1 for 2024-2026 Harlan Hills Vegetation Management.
Second.
Public Works approved.
Did Finance Committee approve?
Finance approved.
What is this?
Kind of the same deal. There's some prairie, there's ponds
Okay.
in that area, kind of along the bike trail that borders that area that, again, takes continual management till we get a very good, prairie established. And the ponds will always require some maintenance around the ponds.
Okay.
Same firm.
All those in favor of resolution R-75-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay, next one, the same.
Move approval resolution R-76-24, approving change order number 4 for 24 through 2026 Renaissance Vegetation Management.
Second.
Public Works approved.
Did Finance Committee approve?
Finance approved.
So this one is the same like the
Pretty
other
much
one.
same thing around a pond, mostly around a pond here, Tim. Does that one sound right?
Yes, correct. It's the Renaissance on the Park Pond.
Okay. All those in favor of resolution R-76-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay, thank you, Dave. Now we are moving to Park Commission. That is you.
You have to rearrange this or get hoarse. Okay. I can move postponement, date indefinite for resolution R-24-24, approval of 2024 through 2028 Parks and Open Space Recreational Plan, and Chad will address this after we vote.
So as you know, this Park and Open Space Plan update has been referred to quite a few committees and commissions and boards, and staff in our Parks Department is currently working on organizing and all of that feedback that had been presented to them, evaluating it and determining what will be included in the final draft that will ultimately come back to First Plan Commission, since they postponed it as well, and then back to council for final consideration.
Okay. All those in favor of postponing resolution R-24-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carried. Okay.
So move approval resolution R-44-24, approving the 2024 spring tree planting.
Second.
Parks approved.
Finance Committee?
Finance approved.
Okay. What is this?
So we have a number of trees. Anna isn't on anymore, is she?
262 of them.
260. Thank you, Bill. 162 trees we will be planting this spring. Scott, did you want to say anything about this? Or you just happened to hit your button wrong? The spring tree planting.
If you've got any questions, as you mentioned, 262 trees. We did receive 8 bidders, qualified bidders, and we're recommending going with SRB Trees at the price of $62,880. And we have worked with this group before, and we're satisfied with their service.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay, any comments, question? Okay, all those in favor of resolution R-44-24, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay. Okay, so next, I think we are done with parks. Then we move to library board. Any report?
No report.
Commission of Aging Well. No, but is Jay?
Oh, we haven't had a meeting
Okay.
since the last council meeting.
And when is the next one? We have one next one?
I don't know.
Okay, and
I
Donald is
presume
going to be
next
there.
week.
Okay. RCC.
Well, Gabriella, this is the interim. Gabriella met on April 8th, which was the day before the last council meeting, so there's no update since then. We will next meet on May 13th.
Okay, thank you. TTC.
Yes, TTC met on April 11th. And we discussed, well, we had a presentation by Madison Metro on the bus rapid transit. I don't think anybody else was there aside from commission members, but that video is up on Fact TV and YouTube for you to view. And there was a follow-up email to the council with the slide deck from the presentation. Osmondson Road Traffic Calming Committee has been formed, and we've had 2 meetings. And they are currently the only traffic management process project occurring at the moment. And we discussed the ordinance change for the bicycle committee. Ross mentioned a few things, construction projects, Fitrona, South Sain. Those projects are ongoing. Seminole Highway. There's going to be a path north of the roundabout from Lacey heading up to where the path currently ends near the Hop House. And there will be a path on the north side of Lacey that will lead you all the way to the school. And there's also there's a water main replacement that's happening on the north side of McKee Road from Fish Hatchery to Seminole. So as that work is being done, a multi-use path will be installed on the north side of McKee. That'll be an important connection. Oh.
Nothing has been approved.
All right, well, there's discussions about it.
Yeah, nothing has been approved.
And we discussed the rectangular rapid flashing beacons.
Okay, yes, Nicole.
I had a quick question. I don't know the proper procedure for this, but if I could be added to the Osmondson Road Traffic Calming Committee, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, we met earlier this week, and so Randy had been invited to that, and I think he showed up for the first meeting, but not the second one. And at the meeting, I asked Ross whether he had sent you an invite, and he said, "Oh, I knew I forgot something."
Oh, that's okay. I'm new. Thank you for asking that. I appreciate that.
We'll make sure that that's taken care of.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, that's it.
That's enough, isn't it?
Okay, thank you, Bill. Sida.
We are meeting on Thursday.
Okay. Ag and Rural Affairs Committee. Nicole.
I have not yet participated in that committee, but I am excited to do so.
Okay, thank you. Bicycle and Pedestrian Commission.
I think you heard all of the updates you needed to today from the proclamation, Bike Week, Bike Month.
Bike to work, remember, I'm going to be biking, okay? If you want to join me, you will receive an invite, okay? Bike to work is on.
Count me in.
Mayor, just in
I don't even know when I need to buy
Mayor,
it.
just an FYI, you don't need to wear spandex.
Yeah, okay? I'm going to be
Bill wore
biking
a
a
suit
B-cycle. Watch out. Okay. That's it? Okay.
Yes, that's
Okay.
it.
Thank you. EMS,
No report.
Healthy Neighborhood Committee.
Since we only have 8 meetings a year, we are sitting on our hands this month.
Okay. Housing Advisory Committee.
I'll just do another pitch for the Dane County Regional Housing Strategy meeting on May 2nd, 6:30 p.m. at Alliant Energy Center. It's going to be a lot of different municipalities represented talking about that housing strategy. So it's coming up.
And I would recommend to all of you to start watching if you can watch the meeting from the Greenfield, because eventually you will need to vote about this. So, and you need to be aware of what is going on, and so you can watch those meetings or participate. I will appreciate that. So, thank you for the one who, came on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd also like to make a note that May 7th, a survey will open up for the Greenfield meeting.
Okay.
So there was a similar survey for South Stoner Prairie, and it's basically just to gauge the public's interest in what sort of land use they want to see in that area. And I think that survey will be open for about a month.
Okay. Landmark Preservation Commission.
We haven't had a meeting in a very long time, but we're going to try to get one done pretty soon.
Okay, thank you. Tree Advisory Committee.
I also look forward to participating in this committee.
And we don't have any report from other commission and committees, so the idea is if the council approve the new design for the police facility, I will reinstate a small internal committee for that. I will announce that when we approve it, and some of you are going to be participating.
Question for you.
Yes.
So will the proposed DEI committee fall under like one of these committees, or will that be like one of the standing ones that
Which
we will
one?
give? The DEI committee.
No, we haven't
created it.
We
yet?
haven't created that one. Is another thing that I'm going to mention in my report.
Gotcha.
That I am working on that. Yes.
Gotcha.
Eventually, yeah, it's coming. Okay. So now where we are? Finance. Okay, Gabriela, do you have anything to mention in finance?
Yeah, just one thing. The treasurer reports for January, February, March were all in the agenda packet for finance. And our investments, because those interest rates have been so high, our investments through certificates of deposit have been getting more than a 5% return. So Bill asked about if that's how that's performing against inflation, and didn't have that answer quite yet, but overall performing fairly well. And then the CIP is underway, which I'm sure the mayor will mention in her report. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Wait. Okay. So then we move to personnel committee.
We're meeting. My first meeting will be tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Okay. Public and safety and human services.
Yeah, we approved a lot of sound permits for birthday parties and graduation parties. 'Tis the
nice.
season. So as you see activity happening in our parks over the next several weeks, that's what's going on. And it's good that we have the facilities to provide opportunities for people to do that at a low cost.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Finished business, nothing. And then we are moving to mayor's report. Okay. So I have a couple of things that I want to share with you. So today we started with the CIP process. So today we spent the whole afternoon with the first draft of the capital improvement plan that the head of the department presented to me. So Misty and Chad. So We spent the whole afternoon. So there are new projects, revised projects. We had to revise some of the amount in that capital improvement plan. So you will see that some of the numbers have been adjusted to current values. And then, so that one is so I have like a month to go through the report. I need to, of course, we are over budget, so I need to go and take a look what are the things that, to create, what are the things that we need to revise to have a second draft. And then when it's coming to council, it's going to come, I don't remember the date.
I can look that up.
Yeah. Okay, so that one is, what else? I am working with Adam on how to put together the focus group for the strategy meeting. We want to have for sure one in, more than two. We want to do one, if we can do one in Southdale area, will be great. So, and also you receive, what do you say? I hope you answered the survey, okay, guys? There was a survey, and then part of the strategic plan is going to be sending another survey to the residents, so they are working on that too, the consultant. I also want to thank all the elders that participate in the pancake breakfast on Sunday. Jay, Gabriela, Bill, Dave, and then I know that Nicole and Donald also came, so thank you. Also want to thank everyone that participated in the cleanup on Saturday. I wasn't able to attend, but I know there was a lot of people doing that, so thank you to all the neighbors. Yesterday, I was invited to go to the Swan Creek neighborhood meeting, and the same with Jay was there, so it was a good meeting. And also attended the Greenfield neighborhood meeting that happened yesterday too. There are a couple of ribbon cuttings that are coming. One of them I am not going to be able to attend, so Alder Jim Wheeler is going to do it on my behalf. We have one this coming Thursday, the courtyard in District 2. So the ribbon cutting is at 4, so you can make it. I will appreciate that. What else? We have Arbor Day celebration. I want to be planting a tree with a lot of kids, if weather permitted, on Friday at 10:30. You mentioned that strategy. Please do it. And what else? Oh, maybe I am forgetting. And the other thing I am, as I mentioned, I want to create a work group or advisory ad hoc committee for diversity and inclusion. But I don't know how we are going to call it yet. Maybe it's going to be a community equity council or work group. The idea is to, I am interviewing some residents that they have the background on diversity and inclusion, and they understand the topic. My idea is to find this, to have like 5 people, resident, a council member there, and Donald is going to be representing the council because he has experience in this area, and then Sarah Olson is going to be the staff representative. But then I'm going to bring the. Do I need to have approval of the council for that?
I'll double check the ordinance on that. I
Because it's
don't.
an
I don't
ad hoc
believe you
committee,
do.
I don't think so. But the idea is, are you going to try to create that group of people in the month of May? So if you know resident that they have that background, please send it to me, okay? This is the idea. What else? That's it for me. I don't know. Yeah. The date? Yes. For the new council members, so they know this. They should know this.
The mayor's CIP will be released on June 7th, Friday. The first public hearing will be June 25th. Amendments will be due to the finance director no later than 4:30 p.m. on July 5th. And the second public hearing and anticipated action by the Common Council will be July 23rd.
Okay.
What was the release date on the CIP again?
June 7th.
Thank you.
Maybe we can send them that email to them. Tomorrow, for the new council member, tomorrow you're going to have like a mini training too. So with a lot of information that Chad is going to provide with you and Valerie. Okay, so, okay. And tomorrow night, tomorrow night we are going to know the result of the survey, okay? Okay, I'm going to start with district now. I'm going to start with District 1, Dave.
Three things. One, I wanted to thank the police department. There was a shooting. It wasn't in my district, but it was Limerick over behind Hy-Vee, just a short distance from my home, and they were able to find the person that did it. He lived on Red Arrow Trail and tracked it down. Similar thanks to them, a different part of the district. Woman claimed, she had been robbed and attacked in back of Great Dane, and it was a hoax. And they got to the bottom of that. So please thank them for that good investigative and follow-up work. We had a very nice presentation by a developer for the quarry, not too far from my home. What's planned from that? The developer and another developer that's going to purchase part of it to build an apartment building. That was last week, and we had close to 30 people attending. It was very well attended, I believe well received, and our community garden is getting kicked off for the new season. We have 20 people signed up for 20 plots, or 21 people for, I forget exactly what it is, but we've grown since last year. That's all.
Thank you. Joe?
All right, I'm going to say this in English and Spanish because it's an opportunity for Spanish speakers. The group Unidos, it's a domestic violence advocacy organization, is going to have a mural creation from the artist Layla Byron. There's going to be two groups, one on April 30th and one on May 14th, 5 to 7 p.m. And then there's a second group that's going to be the 1st and 15th of May from 5 to 7 p.m. If you're interested, email Andrea M. at unidos, UNIDOSWI.org. Participa en el proceso de la creación de un mural que realizará a la artista Layla Byron para Unidos. El primer grupo será martes el 30 de abril y 14 de mayo, desde las 5 hasta las 7. Y el segundo grupo miércoles el 1 y 15 de mayo, desde 5 a las 7 en la noche. Y para más información, Andrea M. at unidoswi.org.
Gracias. Bill?
Over the weekend, there was the autism walk at McKee. There were quite a few people there. And at last night's Bike Fitchburg meeting, we learned of some pretty exciting stuff going on, trying to get trishaws, which are tricycles where you can put two people in the front and a pilot in the back and take people for a ride. This is, for the elderly or infirm. This is a health and human services thing, combating loneliness. And I guess one other thing that was mentioned last night, Mark Hamilton was there. He's typically at those meetings representing the city's bicycle committee. And he wanted to extend his thanks and appreciation to Dave for the April 6th bike giveaway. He said, you did well. So high five over Joe's head. Wasn't me. We have great volunteers.
That's it? Thank you. Gabriela?
I just wanted to shout out the to the members of the RCC that organized the waterway cleanup. Despite it being a very, very cold morning,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to join with the rescheduled date, but despite it was the reschedule, they still went out, even though it was quite cold in the morning, and were very successful, picked up a lot of trash. One of the nice things that was noted in some of the roundup emails was that the trash, because it's been done annually, it's less and less every year. Like they're really making kind of sustaining progress. Like these places don't have to be cleaned up as intensely every year. A couple of other interesting things. Our youngest volunteer was 3 years old and did quite well. And one of the oddest things that was found was a grill. So
What?
you always find really strange things every year.
A grill.
So a grill, I think, is and like a plastic tricycle was also some of the interesting things that were found. So
that's where it went.
yeah. Yeah, so thanks to the members of the RCC that put that together every year and to the people that come out year after year. It's a great event. Also wanted to note that in District 2, the courtyard at Fitchburg is having their ribbon cutting and grand opening on this Thursday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. It is on Wilshire Drive, and it's the assisted living facility that's next to the new memory care. That's right off of McKee Farms Park. That's happening. And also I had a good time volunteering at the pancake breakfast and learned how to cook eggs, a large sum of eggs. I was hoping I wouldn't be assigned a cooking job, but I was taught very well, so it went very well, and the eggs were delicious. And there was so much of that food was donated, which I didn't realize. So pretty incredible. I think all of the eggs were donated, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of eggs, and a lot of the volunteers there, they were people that come every week. They are the ones that go and they serve meals weekly, and they are absolutely incredibly efficient. So it was really cool to be a part of, and really, really cool event. So I was really happy to be there. And thanks to the Senior Center staff and volunteers for the good work you do every week.
Thank you. Jay.
Yeah, so staying on the topic of the Senior Center, last year was a record year of attendance at the pancake breakfast. This year was slightly down, but only slightly. But it's always a good event. I spent a couple of hours making pancakes and then a couple more hours making sausage. So much sausage. But it was good to see. Gabriella was volunteering, as was Bill and Dave and Julia. And then I saw Donald there. I didn't see Nicole, but I didn't know Nicole.
I was chasing after a 3-year-old.
I was going to say she was buried under children.
That's
but
correct.
this was good because I haven't seen this many council people at a pancake breakfast in many, many years. So thank you all for coming and being a part of it. I know it's important to the other people who go there too to know that the elected representatives are paying attention to what goes on in the senior center. They serve a lot of meals every day. They provide a lot of programming and do a lot of things for people who just can't really get out and do stuff on their own. So it is one of the little shining stars we have in the city where people can look back and say, hey, they got stuff they needed from the senior center. And Jill and Mandy and the rest of the staff down there do an excellent job of serving that portion of our population, a portion that I may be part of in another 10 or 15 years. Who knows? But also, I wanted to mention that I'm still looking forward to the opening of the new bar that will be coming across the street from my apartment, or just down the street from my apartment, over in Uptown on Sherrill Parkway. That should be opening around the end of May, and every time I drive by there, I see work going on inside. So yay, that's exciting.
It's the Rusty Bee.
The Rusty Bee.
Do you know?
I believe he's planning on opening the weekend before Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
I think that's the current plan.
Okay.
And Tracy is nodding in agreement, so yay, because Tracy knows these things. Finally, over in at the Hartung property, the blasting has now been done for a couple of weeks, so I think they're done for good. There's buildings going up there, and the thing that we approved tonight, they've been storing all of their dirt from the excavation on that spot. So I don't know how they're going to build those townhouses without moving a lot of dirt, because
those individuals and scheduling some meetings with city staff to get to know everyone better. And I appreciated attending the pancake breakfast on Saturday too. It was fun and getting and interact with a lot of folks I haven't met yet. So it was fun.
Okay, thank you. Jim?
Nothing to report
No?
except sitting next to two new alders, which is, well, actually pretty fun. We'll have some fun down this end. Don't worry about it.
Nicole, do you have anything to report?
Yes, I want to thank Jim for helping me throughout the entirety of this meeting. I also enjoyed the pancake breakfast. My very picky children made us buy a 5th plate of food and then promptly stole all my sausage. I liked the eggs, Gabriella. They were delicious. And I was super excited to attend the Greenfield neighborhood feedback meeting last night. I think it was clearly a room full of very committed neighbors, very passionate neighbors who brought up really important points about traffic and stormwater and things like that. And I think everyone disagreed rather respectfully. So I really appreciate that. And I lastly am looking forward to attending the tree planting ceremony on Friday. I'm going to try and bust my own 3-year-old out of Woods Hollow to maybe plant a tree with you, Madam
Yeah,
Mayor.
because the kids that are coming are the kids from Wood Hollow.
I know. They might have picked better behaved children than my 3-year-old. We'll see. Maybe I'll bring him and monitor him very closely. But that's all the report.
Okay, thank you. Jay?
Just one other quick thing. At the pancake breakfast, I overheard Bill talking to somebody about his first meeting at the council that went until 11:30 at night. And I want to apologize to you two that we did not extend this meeting that long.
How dare you?
But you
Move
will,
to extend
you,
to
you
out.
will have those.
Stop.
You will have those opportunities
Yes.
coming up.
Okay, the other thing that I want to announce that I forgot is on May 7th is the Fitchburg Chamber is organizing a focus lunch. The Fitchburg Focus Lunch. May 7th is a lunch. If you can, Mike Zimmerman is going to do a presentation of all the development in the city. So if you want to attend, this is another opportunity to meet more neighbors and learn more about our development. Okay, so next committee of the whole is tomorrow, April 24. What do we have in the agenda for tomorrow?
On the agenda for tomorrow is a referendum update, possibly a discussion, a presentation from Ellers and Mueller Communications, discussion of public records law and open meetings law, ethics and Robert's rules, which is a standard presentation by the city attorney that we do annually, an orientation overview of council resources by City Administrator Brecklin, and then a discussion on future committee of the whole topics. So please feel free to bring your ideas there and we can have a discussion. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yes.
For tomorrow's committee of the whole in regards to the referendum conversation, obviously you'll be presented with the results of the survey that had been provided to the community, and depending upon whether or not the council would like to proceed with a referendum, what staff will be looking for from council is direction related to obviously whether or not you would like to go to referendum, and if so, what might be the dollar amount that you would like the staff to begin to prepare a question for, what sorts of things would be included within that referendum amount, and then what date would that referendum be. So just wanted to give that information to you all today so you can begin to think about that in advance of the survey results being presented.
It's kind of hard to think about that without knowing the results of the survey.
Surprise.
So is there any way that you can give us a sneak preview tomorrow morning? that we might be able to look at and ponder?
I will see what I can do about that. What I will say is that there was support demonstrated in the survey. But I'll see what I can do about getting more information out.
Okay, thank you, Chad. Next common council meeting is May 14, and I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you. Buenas noches.